Good morning, Lindsay at Green Bay Botanical Garden today on a nicer, not so hot and sunny day. We're enjoying it here a lot. This cool weather is a little bit of a much appreciated reprieve. We're in the cottage garden today and I just want to kind of show you guys a lot of, I think, cool stuff that's going on in here that you non-plant nerds might not know or find really interesting as well. So first thing that I want to talk about is these like tall little things right here. You guys may or may not recognize these are actually lettuces that are bolting or going to flower. When you plant your lettuce in the spring in cooler temperatures, you know, you typically pick it in its leaf form and eat it for your salads. But once it starts getting really hot, your lettuces and a lot of our spring crops like ornamental kales, mustards, even spinaches, radishes too, once it gets really warm, that signals to the plant that it's time to flower and produce seed. So they start bolting or creating this big stalk and then get flowers on them to produce seed, and that's kind of going through their whole life cycle to reproduce. So after these little flowers open up here, they will start producing seed, and if you let these lettuces go to flower and produce seed and wait until they kind of get cruddy looking before you pull them, they'll actually reseed in your garden. So next spring, when the weather's just right, they'll start growing on their own and you won't have to plant them. So when lettuces are at this point, you don't want to eat them because they're going to be very bitter, but they are kind of a cool ornamental feature here in the garden. You can see this red one here is kind of a cool texture, color contrast to this kale that's behind it, and even this other green version that's right next to it. And these little yellow flowers, this lettuce is in the Asteraceae family, which is the aster family. Sunflowers, zinnias, daisies are all in the same family, so that's kind of a cool little thing. And a lot of kids, and maybe even adults, you know, you buy your lettuce in the grocery store in a bag or in the produce case, and a lot of kids like don't know that lettuce comes from seed and you can grow it in your garden and what the flowers actually look like. So every year, once my lettuce starts bolting here in the cottage, I usually let the ones bolt and go to flower just to show the kids and adults what lettuce flowers look like. So that's kind of a cool thing. And all these lettuces right here had reseeded from lettuce that I let go to seed last year. So that's kind of cool. I think it's cool, but I'm a big plant nerd. So anyway, those are lettuces going to seed. Another cool thing going on here, these little guys here are some ornamental kales that we planted in spring for some spring color. They had some pink and white coloring in the centers, but now that it's getting warmer, they kind of turn more of the green color, and because it's getting so warm, they're actually going to flower. They're bolting and flowering and will go to seed as well. So I don't know if these kales are going to seed out because these are kind of a little more hybridized. The seed might be sterile. But I'm just going to let those guys go and see what they do. If I leave them in for fall, they will color up again once the weather gets a little bit cooler and we start getting closer to frost. So, you know, your spring plantings, you don't have to pull them out because spring is over. You can leave them in the ground and let them be pretty and kind of enjoy them for what they are, not because people say you have to pull them out after spring. So those are two cool things going on, but I want to show you another really cool plant. I was joking with Rachel that this is kind of our Tickle Me Elmo if it were a plant here. This little guy right here is called the sensitive plant. The sign for it's right there if you want the scientific name. But basically, if you very gently kind of tickle it or touch it, it folds its leaves up, and that is a response to the plant. It's sensitive to touch, so when you touch it, it folds up its leaves, kind of like a self-defense mechanism from like insects. This is a tropical plant, so it folds up its leaves, and the insects wouldn't be able to really eat it because they can't see the leaves all folded up like that. So it's kind of a fun little conversation piece here at the garden. We started these guys from seed. You can grow them as houseplants too, but you can see they do fold up quite a bit. I'm not sure how long it'll take for them to open back up again, but by the end of the day, after a couple hours, we'll be open and ready to go. So that's just a fun little thing too that I have here in the cottage garden. We have some in the children's garden too for you to come see, but those are just some really fun things going on in here today that I wanted to share with you guys. And Stay tuned for some more behind the scenes. Be sure to check out our website, gbbg.org, for more behind the scenes and updates of what's going on here at the garden. And be sure to check us out. A lot of our annuals are doing really awesome right now, and perennials are coming around, so the garden's changing every week. There's something different to see, so make sure to come and check us out, and we hope to see you soon.